Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Podcast, where we help you unlock your potential freedom through land investing, real estate investing, and entrepreneurship. Hey everyone, this is episode 139 of the Real Estate Investing Podcast, discussing how we are on pace to make $2 million of profit in the first 6 months of 2023. I'm your host, Daniel Apke, joined again by my brother and business partner, Ron Apke. Before we get into the show, let's go over a question from one of our featured Discord members. Today's question is from Derek. Derek asked, I'm just starting out. This is my second month of sending mailers, and I don't have time to answer the phone during the day. I'm looking for a cost-effective answering service. What is the best one to use?
Yeah, really good question, Derek. And if you don't have time, a lot of people have 9 to 5s. It is going to make you more money, and it's going to cost some money, obviously, up front with an answering service. But getting one is going to make you money in the long run because you're going to have someone answering your phone 24/7. And you can always turn off the call forwarding or something like that if that's what you decide. We use Pat Live. I don't think they're the cheapest out there. They're probably somewhere in the middle, but they answer 24/7. They do a really good job taking our messages and just getting us the information we need so we can call the potential sellers back in a timely manner. Yeah, I think you're in a really good position to get an answering service. If you do not have the time in the day, it's not going to be cheap. It might cost $200 a month, something like that, but you're going to have someone manning your phones 24/7 through the month.
Yeah, and I'd say about 50% of our members or land investors start out using Pat Live or a similar answering service. So it's very common to do. A lot of people have 9 to 5s and they want their phones answered during the day. So they get it. We do it ourselves as well, even with a salesperson and a sales staff. So it makes sense to do about 50% of them. The other 50% end up answering themselves throughout the day or calling back as soon as possible and hitting voicemail. But that's very common, and best of luck. Well, let's get into the show. Today's topic, how we are on pace to profit $2 million in 6 months. So profiting $2 million in 6 months through land flipping, Ron. And we've had a lot of requests to share more of our personal journey on land flipping. And that's why I really wanted to get into this. We have one next week that's going to be more about our path to land flipping success. This one's going to be about how this year in 2023, in the first 6 months, we're going to be profiting $2 million in the first 6 months. And we're going to talk about that, Ron. But let's get into, the first quarter. What are we doing in quarter one? I know quarterly, like if you break it down, we have to do about $1 million a quarter of profit. Quarter one, though, being as slow as it was, we didn't hit that and we weren't planning on hitting that. So let's talk about Q1.
Yeah, so Q1 and even Q4 of 2022, one of our big focuses as our company was to do bigger deals. And that's how you make more money at the end of the day, is doing bigger deals. It's hard. Like if you're saying $2 million in 6 months and you're making $20,000 per deal is amazing, guys. And I don't want you to just start focusing on $100,000 profit deals. But that being said, when we have really big goals and we're trying to hit these goals, like it's a lot simpler for us to do $100,000 profit deals versus whatever it is, $210,000 profit deals. So that was one of our huge focuses. And Daniel and I talked about it a lot last year, quarter four. What are our goals going to be for this year with our land flipping business? And that's what we wanted to hit. Like we wanted to hit $2 million in the first quarter. And just looking at the logistics of things, doing bigger deals, doing some projects. Like we have a lot of money behind us now to take on some of these bigger deals, and we have a lot of access to money with really good partners that partner with us on these deals to be hands-off investors. So that was probably our number one thing that's getting us to hit this number, Dan. That's putting us on pace, is we are really attacking some really big deals.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, going backwards from there, like quarter one, we're probably around $500,000 of profit, I would guess, which is still really strong, Ron. But I think the main thing, like you said, to scale your systems and processes and everything needs to come in line, and including that, your ability to raise capital, because there are in any business limited funds. There's a ton of money in land flipping. Don't get me wrong. If you guys are coming in, you will have access to get your deals paid for if you're coming in. But as you're scaling, 5, 10, 15, 20, $25 million business, like that is a lot of money. And how are you going to come up with $10 million? It's more than just having a good deal funding partner here and there, Ron. It's much more than that. Like we need people with $2 to $5 million of liquid cash just sitting there ready to go. And that's what we came up with. That's what we found. We're finally getting that really solidified, I feel like. And that is huge grow, like huge for growing. You have to find a way to have more access to money. And working backwards from there, Ron, I wanted to get into working backwards from $2 million of profit. Like, it's not about the mail we're sending out now, guys. It's not. It's about the mail we've sent out the last 6 months to get us to hit
Mm.
these numbers in quarter one, to get us to hit that $500,000 in quarter one, get us to hit that $1.5 million we're going to hit in quarter two of profit. So it's about the mail we've sent out. It's about our systems and processes growing. But let's work backwards from there a little bit, Ron.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've invested a ton in our team, training our team, hiring new members, and we're still small. Like to make $202 million of profit in 2 quarters with a 7 person team, 6 person team is unheard of, Dan. And putting the right people in places with the right processes has been a huge focus of ours. But yeah, in 2022, whatever we sent sent about 300,000 mailers, I want to say. So all that builds on top of it. We're getting deals from those mailers. We hired a data person so we can get 30 to 40,000 mailers out every single month. And those are still bringing us deals. Obviously, the new ones are bringing us deals, but we are getting deals from 12 months ago from properly pricing our mail 12 months ago. We're getting calls in. People like, okay, that's $60,000 that you offered me 12 months ago. Looks good. Does that offer still stand? And those are the types of calls we get on a weekly basis. And it just builds on itself. Like when you send that much mail, we have 300,000 mailers that went out last year that are maybe, I don't know, maybe we have 30,000 mailers sitting on people's fridges with an offer that they're thinking about. Who knows what the actual number is, but there is a significant amount of letters of ours on people's fridges around the country. And we are getting those calls weekly now because the market, because people need cash and so many different reasons. But I don't think that really is the reason we're going to hit these numbers, Dan. It's more so just scaling up, I think, more so than anything, and getting the right people and processes.
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. And like as a total team, we have what, 10 or 11 that total now once we hire these three, and
Yeah.
about 6 or 7 of them are dedicated to actually land. But then we have been doing some deal funding as well. That's been a focus of ours because we want to help our members. We want to help people have access to capital.
Yeah.
And then they come in, Ron, they get deal funding from us, and we're by their side. We're helping them. We have a private chat with them. Help if it's, your first few land deals, Ron. We like to help when we can or step away when we need to also. Like if it's a tenured veteran land flipper, Ron, we're not going to hold their hand through the process. But if it's someone new, we'd love to help the members. And that's a big focus of ours. That's a big reason why we're scaling our staff, because we're doing a lot of deal funding, because we see our members come in. Ron, last night on our call, like we said last week's deals were the best ever
Hmm.
last Wednesday, but last night on the call, like there, I was shocked with how many. We just split our Wednesday webinars from members only. So we split it. It was everyone, non-members and members, and we split it members only, and then we have a non-members one as well. And
Yeah.
seeing the members deals coming in there, Ron, is just really, really fulfilling to me. And then obviously they need their deals paid for in some capacity. So the more we scale up, the more Land Investing Online grows its community, the more access we need to capital to help our members as well. And that's been a big focus because we're land experts. We like to help them with not only knowledge, but capital as well.
Yeah. I mean, members are making a ton of money out there. We partner with them. Obviously, we make money when we partner with them and we can provide them funds. So that is a portion of this $2 million, but it's not a significant portion. Um, But yeah, seeing the deals that are coming through is incredible. Like so many people buying for 30, selling for 70, buying for 50, selling for 110. And it's really, really cool to see. And I'm really happy we split that. I think it went really well yesterday, but we're still really invested in helping people who aren't members or can't buy education right now for whatever reason and helping them get into land. Our mission is to grow land investing. It's to grow, to help you guys get financial freedom, get whatever freedom you're looking for.
Exactly. So let's talk about like what now that we have a data. So we have data in place. So our data teams in place, our sales teams in place, our transaction coordination and due diligence teams in place, and our price approval and all of the operations are seem to be in place. And we have a good CRM and system set up. Ron, what's our monthly mail volume look like right now?
It's about we're gonna actually this will be our biggest month. So we're in March right now. We're gonna be um we have like 30,000 that are ready to send. I'm trying to get up to 40,000 this month alone. I don't know if that's going to be every month. I'm curious to see what April looks like because this will be the most mail we've ever sent. It's going to be probably be over 40,000 mail pieces of mail. So we'll see how our salesperson holds up next month and our processes. But that's what you need to do to scale, guys. We're targeting huge properties too. Like we're sending 40,000 mailers. 20 of those thousand might be over $100,000 offers. So we are targeting properties and we know how to acquire that stuff. We know how to get the money for those bigger deals. So that is a huge, huge focus of our company. And we're saying $2 million, Dan, for quarter or for first 6 months. Like I think easily we can do $3 to $5 million in profit in the next in quarter 3 and 4 total. I just the mail and our target and what I'm seeing in the market. I think a lot of people are shying away from sending mail or doing this business. And like you said before, the members deals and the deals that we're seeing coming in every single week are incredible.
Yeah, and I hope people keep texting around because it's opening up a lot of doors for our mail business, sending
Yep.
mail. People like there's just so many people who aren't on text that you can reach. And obviously, guys, we're not against texting. We still are exploring texting as well, but mail is so, so, so efficient and effective, Ron. I did want to get into so we're sending about 40,000 now. That's going to be our biggest month ever, Ron said. And then we have a salesperson handling those leads. We have a data analyst actually pricing that, Ron. What kind of systems, like where do you think a point of failure could be with this type of volume?
Um, so I think as you guys scale, I want to talk about I will keep it on our business. I think a point of failure, it's not going to be the funds. I don't think. I do not think access to capital with where we are right now is going to be an issue. Um, I don't know, Dan. I'm interested to see that. I think we are ready for this volume. I think as we scale up, like the natural points of failure are like due diligence. I think due diligence could be, but that's our mindset though. When we're targeting bigger properties, it might not be like 40,000 mailers might get us 40 deals that she needs to do due diligence on, 50 deals, something like that over a 2 month period or something like that. So I don't think it's going to be due diligence really. Sales based on the people. That's what's so important is putting the right people in place, the people that want that extra volume. And I think we have that in place. I don't know, Dan. I'm struggling to think of a point of failure with this volume. If we double that, like, yeah, there's going to be some points of failure probably at all points.
I'll tell you what it's going to be. What I think it will be decision making. And
Yeah.
actually us going in and reviewing the properties. That's always been our kind of weak point. And when we start to get this volume and we have 30 properties, we have to final price approve yes or no. That's when it starts to get trouble. You got to go through 30 properties and say yes or no to $1 million in the pipeline. That's a lot, especially when, there's a lot of other moving pieces. And that's a hard thing. That's the hardest part of this business is making those decisions, yes or no. And Ron and I still do that ourselves, mainly Ron. I step in when needed. But it's a big part of the business. We haven't been able to outsource the decision making yet. We're trying to train staff and it takes time, guys. As you know, if you've been in the land business a long time, like evaluating land can be very, very difficult, especially when comps are scarce. And it's really difficult. And I think that's going to be the point of failure, but we will adapt to it and we'll make it work. Let's go into Ron, what our actual systems and processes look like. So we already discussed 40,000 mailers, all of that, but what is our, like, what CRM are we currently in?
So we use Airtable. So Airtable is, and that's something that's available to our members as well, or even non-members as well. But we use Airtable to organize all this. I don't have concerns with the scalability of any of this. Honestly, with Airtable, I think there's things that could be more efficient within it that I am working on a daily and weekly basis to improve the systems within that. But that's what we're using. That's what we're invested in, and those are it manages all of our deals from when we send our mail to the leads coming in to when we actually get purchase agreements and all the way through the sell side. We have explored other CRMs that are scalable, but it's something that it needs to be the right fit, to be honest with you. Like it has to make sense for us. And right now it just hasn't. And that's why we're so high on the CRM that we created for our students, I think, Dan, because it is scalable to make $2 million in 6 months, which is incredible.
Of profit, yeah. So obviously a lot more volume there. On the sales side, Ron, and to touch on the sales side, like it is our goal to, I think it was like 10 to $15 million of total overall top line sales. So if we're making $2 million in 6 months, and that balances out, $4 to $6 million to the year of profit, 10 to $15 million of top line. And I want to turn this away from us for a moment, Ron. And let's just say someone's goal is to make $1 million of profit in 2023. Now we're already pushing quarter two of 2023. So that goal is going to be within 6 months, Ron. But let's just say 12 months. They want to make
Yeah.
$1 million in 12 months. Let's work backwards from our numbers, what we're seeing, what our members are seeing, and how does someone make $1 million volume mail every month in systems and processes?
Yeah, definitely possible for sure. Like getting the systems and process, like if you're trying to make $1 million in your next 12 months is important. Like the first thing is Dan, like you need to have the mail volume. You need, and we've broken this down in other episodes, like how much mail you need to send to make $500,000 in 12 months or something like that. So you need to have the mail volume. That's just the reality of it. But you got to have the systems ready for it. You need to have answering service. You need to not necessarily have a salesperson, but you need someone full time, whether it's you or other people, because you are going to have deals coming back every single day. And then you don't want to do these buy for five, sell for 12,000. It sounds great on paper. It is not going to be scalable. It's going to be more difficult to scale up to $1 million. Keep your profit around $15,000 per deal, minimum 12 to 15 per deal, something like that, and that will make it much more scalable. Where you're not doing due diligence, you're not buying properties that are 5,000 worth 12, and then you're going to end up making 4 or 5 grand after all it's all said and done. I think that's one of the bigger keys that people need to take away is focusing on not necessarily $100,000 profit deals because it's not attainable for everyone right away, but $20,000 deals is.
I agree. And 10 buying for 10, selling for 25 is good. Buying for 20, selling for 45 is good. But we are seeing so many people, and we've been preaching this for such a long time now, Ron. Last night in the call, you had to have noticed it. I noticed it. Our members' deals are getting bigger and
Yep.
bigger. It seems like every single week they're getting bigger and bigger. We had multiple 200 plus $1,000 deals yesterday we were evaluating, and that's acquisition. So that means they're selling it for, $500,000. That is a big deal. 100 buying for 100,000, selling for 200,000 is no different logistically than buying for 20 and selling for 45. It's just not. Scale your numbers up, get more bigger offers out there once you get your feet wet. Get, 60 to $150,000 offers out there is beautiful. Like you'll get those properties all day long and that's what you need to scale. Like you're talking about making $1 million of profit, Ron. Get 10 to 15, $100,000 deals, Ron, and you're right there.
Yep. Without a doubt, like it's very realistic. If you start, it's a mindset shift, I think, Dan, that might be difficult for some people, especially if you don't, especially if you're relying on 100% deal funding. Like you got, and I was talking to someone this morning who I think will become a member. And I was just telling them, like, listen, if you find a $500,000 deal that's worth 900, 950, which is very reasonable, you're going to have access to $500,000 of cash in our community pretty quickly, I think. So targeting the, not necessarily $500,000, but targeting those $150,000 deals and pricing it correctly, getting the mail out correctly is going to scale you way faster than sending 100,000 offers in a month for $5,000 properties.
Send like $40,000 to $150,000 offers. Buying for 500 is going to start getting tough, but
Yeah.
buying for 50, buying for 100, it's not that tough. Logistically, it's the same exact. And going background, if I could start from day one again, I would 100% focus on these bigger deals. It is the same operational stress. It's the same due diligence on our transaction coordinator and due diligence team, same on our sales team. Once you
Mm,
start getting 500,000, it's another animal, but like 100,000, Ron, it's the same thing as a $10,000 deal, period.
for sure.
As always, thank you for joining. Please do us a huge favor and like and subscribe our YouTube channel and share this with a friend. It really means the world to Ron and I, but more importantly, it could help change the life of someone else. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next episode.